Hello and welcome to this Hurricane Erin update. You can see Erin there passing now northwest of the Bahamas. Looks like it's starting to curve a little more. It's starting to encounter some more steering winds. But it did strengthen a bit today, and it's also growing in size. We're continuing to see that storm get larger. So let's get to the latest public advisory on Hurricane Erin. Center of Erin is passing east of the Bahamas. And this is as of 8 p.m. Its location 24.1 north, 71.5 west, about 695 miles southwest of Bermuda, and about 805 miles south-southeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Maximum sustained winds are 130 miles an hour, moving northwest at 10 miles an hour, and a minimum central pressure 947 millibars, 27.96 inches. We have a tropical storm warning in effect for Turks and Caicos, southeast Bahamas. Storm surge warning in effect for Cape Lookout to Duck, North Carolina. So we're seeing a tropical storm watch in effect also for the central Bahamas and North Carolina of the Outer Banks areas. All right, so this is the new development. They're evacuating the Outer Banks right now because even though it's not going to be directed, it's such a large storm, there's going to be flooding and inundation, and the roads are going to be impassable, and they don't want people to get trapped there. All right. Erin is a Category 4 hurricane, so it has strengthened once again. Hurricane force winds have now expanded This is quite a large hurricane, up to 80 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend out up to 230 miles from the center. So the storm has gotten quite a bit larger in size, and this is the map right here to kind of show you the map here. This kind of shows you. Can we get that map a little bit larger? So here we go. You could see you could see there. This is kind of misleading. I think it's going to be bigger than that, but you could see that they've got a storm surge map here up, and you could see where there could be some storm surge flooding here, and this is why you have those storm surge advisories in effect. And we could see a little bit of that here too as well. I think there's going to be. They're already getting ready at Jones Beach today, with they had like mounds of sand around to protect things a little bit. So speaking of that, I'll just show you the waves today. Nothing really crazy yet, but I noticed the water definitely looked turbulent. You can see the water has a little more of a dirty look to it because the water is definitely a little stirred up. You can see the waves are kind of coming in at an angle. And we did break out into some sunshine this afternoon, some high clouds and stuff. We'll briefly talk about that. But let's go to the warning cone here, and you can see again, major hurricane. I honestly think it's still going to be a major hurricane on Thursday, and possibly even into Friday. I don't think it's going to start weakening until we get to after Friday when it starts becoming. I think they're being a little too conservative here. But you can see that tropical storm watch now in effect for the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So this will, even though it is curving out, it is such a large storm, there will be major impacts along the coast in our area from this hurricane as well. So let's go and look at some more we already looked at that satellite graphic, so let's go and look at this one. You can see here, this is the other. You can still see that strengthening there. There you go. There it is. And it's not moving all that quickly, but look at how large it is. Look at how large that storm is. It's crazy. We'll go to the spaghetti models, and again, still showing that recurve. Pretty much that's been pretty consistent, fortunately. But again, that strength is going to be maintained for at least 84 hours, I think. Major hurricane this is going to be for sure. So let me go back to this, and let's go and look at some of the satellite. Actually, I could probably just do this. Let's go and take a look at the CONUS view, because I think it's coming into view. The CONUS satellite, we should have the... Yeah, there it is. There it is, Erin. Look at that. Huge hurricane right there. Huge. And you can see it's starting to move in this direction here, northwest now, right? You can see here's our front that passed through yesterday. It's kind of stalled to the south. You can sort of see that. And that's what we've been dealing with today. Stall front off to the south. That's why it hasn't been completely clear. So let's go and look at some models on this hurricane. And actually, I want to actually start with the hurricane models. This is a hurricane model, so this will track the storm as it moves. So here we are, Tuesday, Wednesday. We are Wednesday, Thursday. You can see it doesn't. You don't see any land being impacted here on this. This view is not so. I'd rather just use the regular view. I think. Let's go to the regular European here. I got to change it back to the regular European. All right, here. So this is better. All right. So this is the European here, and pretty much you see that storm there moving northwest there, and there's going to be a surge ahead of it. All right. So as far as us, we have high pressure. We'll be dry, but you'll start to see a little bit of a wave, a little bit of a low. There's like a front here. Again, if we go to the weather map here, you can see there's a stall front here and a couple of lows trying to develop along it. And that could bring some precipitation. It's, you can see that. And that Wednesday is looking like we may have some showers and thunderstorms now. And then that kind of, look at that, kind of lingers it into Thursday a little bit now. This is the European. And it kind of like doesn't really dry us out until later Thursday. This is going to have to be watched for sure. You can see there's the storm there. And again, I'm kind of surprised about that because usually you have subsidence around hurricanes. So I don't know why we're seeing precipitation there. I don't know why the model's showing it. I know there's a stalled front there, but that should really be kind of suppressed a little bit. But this will have to be watched. But you can see that's a close call right there. Still close. And you got to remember, this is a large storm. So you can see the isobars that are tight over our area. So there's going to be effects from it for sure. And if we go look at the wind field, we'll just change this to eastern U.S. So get a little bit of a closer look at this. And you can see how it's going to brush the Outer Banks right here. All right. So let's look at the wind field here of this. Let's go look at the wind. Well, we'll go to the wave height first, I guess. We'll do the wave height. That's the first thing we'll look at here. And again, you'll see things start to pick up a little bit on Wednesday. But it's not until we get to later Thursday into Friday that really we'll see the biggest impacts, I think, at the beaches. And then it starts improving toward the weekend. But there's going to be some major coastal impacts. And if you look at our weather and hazards map, which is over here, you already see they've got some small craft advisories in effect and stuff like that. So that'll have to be watched. So let's go and look at the wind. There's the wind. There it is. So here's the wind. This kind of shows you the wind. You can see how the wind field grows, and it kind of maintains its strength here. So the whole eastern seaboard is going to see impacts from this, even though it stays offshore. It's a very large storm. I mean, you can kind of fit all of the northeast in that storm. All right, so it's going to grow. It's going to get even bigger in size, and that's the thing that really has to be watched at this point. All right. So let's go to our more short-range models. Through that, again, we'll be doing this every night to see what the latest trends in the models are. Now, the HRRR obviously is not going. Maybe it'll show a little bit of it, but as we go into tomorrow, you see there's that sucky kind of drizzle stuff that might be hanging out over southern Jersey, some showers and stuff. But tomorrow we should have fairly fair weather. It's this low-pressure area that's coming in for Wednesday that we'll have to watch. Again, then we might have some light rain, drizzle, and then some showers. And maybe a period of steadier rain toward the evening with this. This is as far as it goes. But, again, we were supposed to have a dry week, but that is not happening. We are seeing this develop here, which is becoming more developed as time goes on. Nothing severe or anything, but I'll show you why it's happening. Again, we have that stalled front. So that front kind of stays off to the south tomorrow. We are still in dry air tomorrow for Long Island. Again, for the south, you see that moisture starting to increase, and we start seeing the dew points rise again on Wednesday. So there's a little more moisture. It's almost like there's a little, the front kind of retreats a little bit, pushes back up again almost a little bit on Wednesday as the low pressure approaches, kind of pulls it back up again. That's what we're seeing here, I think. So temperatures for, and again, very cool tonight. It's very cool outside right now. I'll just go over it briefly here. First of all, today at Islip, high of 78, which was at 1 a.m., by the way. Low of 67, and quite cool out there right now. 64, of course. In the alley, it's 70. But you'll see here temperatures throughout the day. We were struggling to make it past the low 70s with a lot of clouds around. You see those dew points fairly low. So you can see those dew points fairly low. And it looks like West Hampton, one site looks like it's down to 57, surely. But generally in the 60s with that east wind. Cooling down the night, probably seeing 50s, maybe even some 40s in the Pine Barrens, perhaps. But lows in the upper 50s till, and again, my alley is probably not going to get much below the upper 60s. But tomorrow you see the temperatures are going to struggle again to get past the mid 70s. That east flow is very cool. Tomorrow night, not cooling off as much because there'll be more cloud cover as the more moisture arrives, though. Wednesday will be struggling to get to 70 with abundant clouds. Wednesday is going to be one of those miserable, sucky days. It's looking like stay inside kind of day, unfortunately, which kind of sucks because that's when the waves are going to start really getting impressive. But we got this stupid low that's formed along the stalled front that's going to bring us some rainy misery, it looks like, for Wednesday. One of those annoyingly sucky days. Let's look at the NAM, by the way. We'll go ahead and look at that as well. So this is the NAM. NAM does have some heat over Jersey, which kind of indicates that there's going to be some type of boundary. Let's see what the radar is showing now. NAM's a little different. Let's take a look at the NAM here. We have the 0Z NAM, and you start to see again. We're dry, and then we start seeing that precipitation on Wednesday, though. The NAM seems to have it more off to the north. So there's like a little low pressure. You see that little low there that's kind of, that's a little concern because you have to wonder how this could interact with the storm. Because when you're looking at this, you're saying, all right, there's a low over here and a high over here. How is Erin going to react to that? But luckily, the timing is that low moves away and pushes Erin out and shouldn't pull it up to the northwest. That shouldn't happen. None of the models are saying that's going to happen. So it's all about timing. Luckily, the timing is working out so we can get rid of this system here. This monster hurricane, if it was going to hit us, it would be a major, major disaster. We'll look at cloud cover on the NAM first, so you can see, there'll be sunshine tomorrow. I think more sunshine, but there'll still be some high and mid-level clouds in the mix. Wednesday, we're fairly overcast, I think. That's all I've got on the NAM as far as cloud cover goes. RGEM, here's the RGEM, and again, showing again that mix of high, more clouds to the south. That it won't be. I don't think we'll have a clear sky tomorrow. We'll probably have some high and mid-level clouds. Wednesday we're overcast probably, and here comes the cloud shield from Erin, and then you see what happens Thursday. We have the cloud shield from Erin, the added cloud shield from Erin over us on Thursday as Erin pulls away, and I'm pretty sure we'll see some clouds from it. Thursday looks like will probably be. That's when it makes its closest pass right there. Looking at the European, I'll go back to the European here. Dew points. Then you'll see what happens here. Here's Wednesday, and you see the storm passing. You can see we're going to have some pretty strong winds even over our area. Here we are Friday. Friday should be the nicer day, I think, as far as the best chances for clear skies. So we've been through all this. Let's look at some of the. I'm just curious about how much rainfall this thing is going to. It could be some heavy rainfall Wednesday from this. It's showing almost 2 inches. So we're gonna have to watch and see if we're gonna have to worry about some flooding issues on. This is the European showing this. I don't think the GFS is showing it, not to the same degree, but we're gonna have to worry about some flooding issues because there's gonna be snow showers and maybe even thunderstorms possible. You just never know what kind of day it's going to turn out to be, and I think we'll have a better idea tomorrow night, maybe, because right now it's still a lot of variables. that have to be worked out. We'll go to the HDRPS as well. I don't think this is going to go far enough out. We'll see. Yeah, it doesn't really go far enough out. So it all depends on where this moves. But it looks like some heavy stuff over here. So to watch for some thunderstorm activity. And again, well, I'm not going to get into that tonight. We'll get into that tomorrow night, I think. We're not done yet. We got to go to the models now. Let's go to Vint2 Sky and show you how this is all going to affect us again. So move this along to so you can visualize Erin here. All right, this is the this would be the icon model here. All right, so this is the wind gusts. All right, so this is a monster. Here we are. This is Thursday here, and you can see the Outer Banks definitely going to see tropical storm conditions from this. And even really not that far offshore, we could see some tropical storm conditions. Here we are Thursday. Some really strong wind gusts offshore, 60 miles an hour, perhaps. And gusts to 31 over our area. So this is going to be pretty interesting. And then as we get toward Friday, it pulls away. So but Friday morning, you can see those strong winds are pretty close. And you can still see it's a pretty powerful storm here. It doesn't look like it's moving that fast either, so the Cape's getting into it. So we may see some tropical storm warning is needed for certain areas, like the Cape and the Outer Islands, perhaps, with this thing. So it's a large storm, even though it's missing us. It's a large storm. Let's go to the waves. Start with that. Here we are Thursday. So on Thursday, you can see already it's showing 11.8 foot waves. We're going to see a major beach damage to our beaches from this. 15 foot, 13 foot later on Thursday. Here we are Thursday night, 15 feet. And then Friday, we're still not done with it. We're still dealing with 13 foot waves, 11 foot waves. Wednesday, you start to see some of the effects. We'll go to tomorrow here. Some small effects tomorrow, but the biggest effects, I think Thursday is going to be the biggest day that we're going to see those effects. Let's just show cloud cover here for a moment. Still showing plenty of cloud cover, by the way. This is the icon model here, I think, that we're looking at, right? Yeah, the icon model. Hopefully not any precipitation. And I don't think we have to deal with any of that sucky drizzle. But let's go to Wednesday, where we may have to deal with some sucky drizzle. We may not. It all depends on how. It's very hard to predict that, as you know, but I know that kind of setup. Let's go to the windy now. All right. So let's go to windy, and we'll go ahead and we will look at the winds again on this. So we'll go to here. So I'll show you how this all. You can see how that big area. It looks like it. You can see how it just grows in size here. This is the European model. So again, this is Thursday now. It's lashing the Outer Banks. These are sustained winds. And you can see already seeing that wind affecting our area here. Again, gusts to 34 northeast winds, very strong gusts. And then it gets worse as we head into Thursday night, where we start seeing stronger wind gusts here. This is actually just the sustained wind. I'm not even looking at gusts. So we may need a wind advisory for one of those days. I think we will. And you can see just a monster storm still. I mean, it's a just huge storm here moving away on Friday. This is the Euro. I'll show the clouds too with the Euro as well. So here's the European cloud cover. Get an idea. It's showing some showers on Thursday. Euro is very aggressive with that low feature, so not sure exactly why. Well, again, we'll have better ideas. We'll see what's going to happen. But this is the wind, the sustained wind. I'm going to change this to wind gusts because this is where it gets really crazy here. All right. Oh, boy. So you see the donut right there developing. It actually looks pretty threatening. You can see wind gusts. The winds could gust to hurricane force on the Cape. On the outer banks there at North Carolina. Here we are going into Thursday, and you can already see the wind gusts 32 miles an hour here. You see getting closer and closer. Look at that big thing. I mean, if this thing, look at that, it still has wind gusts. If this thing were to move in this direction and go toward us, it would be a major disaster. Thank God it's not. But one of these days, we're going to see this happen. It could be this year. I hope not. But just saying, if the conditions were different, we would see this thing. Imagine if this thing took a Sandy was barely a hurricane. This thing is a substantial hurricane, so it would probably arrive here as a Category 3 if it were to make a landfall. But you can see it's still pretty strong, even on Friday morning. Still has it pretty strong, and you can see as far as our area goes, we're dealing with wind gusts 32 miles an hour. Winds pick up even more on Friday, so we're going to see that wind become more northerly. That'll at least help kind of push the water back a little bit. I think your major inundation day is going to be Thursday. But that is such a monster. Look at that thing. That's just insanity right there. So this thing's going to have effects. So the winds offshore against some of these offshore buoys could have some really interesting wind gusts for sure. Let's go and look at the waves next. I'm going to find that. Let's actually probably just go right here. So here we go. All right, we'll back this off to like I said, if you're in North Carolina, you're going to have 20-foot waves. You're going to be dealing with that. And we're going to start seeing this, again, as you head into Thursday, you start seeing those really high waves. Here you go, 14 feet. I mean, there's going to be no swimming allowed at any of the beaches, obviously, with this. They've already pretty much saying no swimming at the beaches. 15 feet waves here off the South Shore. Incredible. And then if you go for a little further out, you got the 20-footers. And if you go into the center of this storm, you're dealing with waves close to 50 feet. Just insanity. This is Thursday night, all right? So this is probably when it's going to be at its worst. And then as we head into Friday, the waves back off a little bit, but still substantial, 10 feet. There's still going to be significant inundation at the beaches. And then we're definitely going to have a lot of advisories out because of this. This is going to have some major coastal impacts. So you can see there's the rip current statement, but we're going to have major coastal impacts. So that wraps up this video on Hurricane Erin. And I'll be back tomorrow night. And again, we have significant coastal. We already have high surf advisories. We're going to have high surf advisories. And honestly, the waters offshore are probably going to have tropical storm warnings as well. This is it's going to be a big hurricane. And like I said, just because it's not a direct hit doesn't mean we're not going to see impacts. Just want to make it clear to everybody. Anyway, have a good night.